Alright, we should be good to go. Hello. Hopefully YouTube is going to do normal YouTube things. Yep, YouTube is going to do normal YouTube things. We get going again. Hello, Saeed. Hello. Right, so it's Spain and I'm doing good, by the way, Saeed. It's Spain and Austria today. We should be going very, very quickly. Might be able to knock out a few things very, very quickly. Alright, dry Spain. We'll get a good look at what's going on very shortly, who's where. This is the second to last week of sprint. Not sure I'm here next week. But either way, championship I believe has been wrapped up. It has been in the 50% for a while now. Alright, here we go. So we got Alpine on top to start in Spain, followed by Mercedes and an Alfa Romeo and a Ferrari. So Jack going to start this race from the start. Hasn't raced in a long ass time, so we'll get to see it go along as we go along. Down into turn one, we got the two Mercedes against each other. Oh, they've collided already. Major, Rigo and MBMA all coming together, but they've all managed to survive for the moment in time. That was rather impressive that they did manage to survive. And I don't think everyone's managed to survive turn three. Nope, Mike has spun it. Mike has gone straight to the back already, and I think someone else has gone as well. Bloodwave has spun as well. He drops himself second to last. We're going to go through the beginning of the second sector here. There's turn 5, now turn 6. And up through 7 and 8. Up the hill. It looks like we've got a few battles going on right now as we head down this back straight. A couple of people wanting to go side by side. It's not going to be the case for MBMA and Rigo. Unless Riga can do a little bit of a switchback here, which he is not able to do. MBMA is going to hold on for a little bit longer. Also, new squid spins on the inside. The beginning of Sector 3. New squid, sorry. I don't even know what I was looking at there. Spins already, and Rigo out of the final corner gets a much better exit than MBMA. And makes very, very quick work of that on the straight. Moves him up into second. Jack is well and truly gone. Already 2.2 seconds in the distance. Major a little bit further back from the group we've got now. Mini turns an extra 1.6 back from Major. With big turns right on his on the rear of his car. And they go up through 4. It looks like big turns are going to try and set it on the inside here. And he's going to get it. Big turns on mini turns. Going through a turn, so that's a good move there from Big Turns. He made that one count. Looks like Boomer versus Saeed as well. Saeed, oh, what the hell is happening with the Aston Martin here? Moose has lost out on a few positions. He got that corner all wrong. Yeah, he's dropping a couple of positions here. Drops to the back of this little mini train we have forming. Boomer at the front of the train forming, and a couple of the Aston Martins directly behind AlphaTauris directly behind him, trying to fight their way through. Daxi also going against mini turns right now, who's just lost out to his to big turns. And we'll see whether or not mini turns is able to hold on against the Williams here. It looks like MBMA was able to get back on Rigo. Has been the case. O'Leary versus DDK going down into turn 1 is going to go in the favor of DDK and the Williams. Pretty nice. You get through turn 1 and 2 very cleanly to get beside each other, then it's always good racing. Got about 2.5 tenths now between Rigo and MBMA. Rigo's got to try and fight back again. The first 3 people are on the soft tyres, the major on the mediums behind him. If he can keep himself close, he might be in with a shout later in this race. 17 laps around Spain. I'm assuming it's a little bit more than that round Austria, minute 4 a lap. Rigo not really getting close enough here down the straight. Now into a sweeping right-hander and probably a penalty, a warning at the very least there for going way too deep. And it doesn't look like Rigo's actually going to get close enough here. It looks like Mini Turns is going to get Daxi again. Yep, Mini Turns gets Daxi, maybe DDK too. Daxi is sitting duck a little bit here. We've got yellow flag in sector 3, which is new again. But look at that battle here between the two Williams. Daxi on the inside, DDK on the out, and DDK closed the door a little bit there on Daxi and made sure he stayed himself in front. Also, O'Leary going a little bit deep. Thought he could have had Daxi there, but Daxi's going to take care of that opportunity if you give him that sort of chance. Jaguar versus Boomer right behind each other, behind the battle we were just watching up the hill, well, back down the hill now. And it looks like Boomer's going to hold on for a split second longer. Yeah, he will. Just about holds off Jaguar, who's now got Bloodwave and Saeed right on the back of his car. We've got DRS down the straight, remember. We might be able to see things alter down this straight. Maybe go Jaguar on the out. Well, Jaguar just getting overtaken by Bloodwave on the outside, or tried to anyway, until Bloodwave just goes way too deep in the corner and hands the position back to his AlphaTauri counterpart for today. We head back down the straight with a bunch of the drivers. Rigo's got slipstream and he's got DRS on MBMA and he's got the position. We seem to be having a lot of battles between people who are relatively close but not clearing the driver that's in front of them. It's about 0.5 of a second now between Rigo and MBMA. MBMA, if he can stay close enough, should be able to take that position back relatively quickly. Boomer having an absolute nightmare here through the first sector, goes a bit deep into that corner, trying to hang it on the outside here of Jaguar, and now the inside of turn 5. Can he do it? It would be rather impressive. He'd gone from looking like he was going to lose 2 places to gaining the extra position back. And they're going to go up the hill now. And actually, Boomer never got the move done and just stuck himself behind Jaguar. Will get DRS now. And should be able to make something stick here against the AlphaTauri. And does not, well, actually might not be able to do it. He's gone deep. He's forced the AlphaTauri off the track. And the AlphaTauri of Jaguar has lost at least 2 positions here. Maybe even a third if Saeed gets his way. And Saeed is going to get his way. So Jaguar lost 3 positions. He might be about to lose a 4th. He isn't actually going to lose a 4th here as Rigo yet again loses out to MBMA down the straight. This is just going extremely good for Jack right now. The 2 guys behind him aren't working together. They're just fighting each other as they continuously go through each lap. And it looks like Rigo has got the inside line on MBMA there, but MBMA manages to recover. It's a little bit of a fumble on the car there. We've got Daxi versus Mini Turns. Daxi on the outside, Mini Turns on the inside. Can we get something to happen here? Daxi still on the outside and finally gets the move done through turn 5 and then turn 6. It looks like, oh, Mini Turns had an awful corner there. It's impacted DDK going through. Bloodwave gets past Boomer as they head up the hill now as well. And a lot of things happening here. Good DDK down the inside here on Mini Turns. Can he continue to make it work? Oh, they've come together. Oh, they've come together again. And it's going to allow for O'Leary to try and chip himself in the door here. It doesn't look like DDK is going to be too phased by Mini Turns here. He's just going to use the slipstream. He didn't get it before. He will do now. think maybe O'Leary, no, O'Leary decides to not go for that. MBMA overtaken by Rigo yet again. These two just going back and forth at this point in time. And it looked like MBMA losing a little bit of ground there on Rigo, coming down the hill. That Mercedes car against the Alfa Romeo car is swinging heavily in the favor of MBMA right now. But Big Turn's also trying to put his name in the hat here. If he can put his name in the hat, then maybe that might allow Rigo to get free. He hasn't been able to do so far, but that might do it instead. That might do it instead. Half spin there for MBMA, and Rigo is finally free. Jack is now going to pit. Big Turns is also in front of MBMA now. Rigo and Jack into the pits. Big Turns, MBMA stay out. Major's directly behind these two too. But he's on the medium tire. He's staying out too. It doesn't look like he is. No one's going to be able to make any sort of moves there whatsoever. So Big Turns takes the lead of the race up to this point. But now, it doesn't look like MBMA is going to be able to have a really good go at Big Turn Diver. That half spin may have just killed MBMA's race. But we've got a bunch of battles going on all the way through the grid right now. Jaguar versus Moose King versus Saeed right now is also looking pretty good. We'll go to them when they hit the straight here. Yeah, we'll go to this now. Let's see if anything is able to happen between four cars here. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen down this straight into Sector 3. It isn't going to happen down this straight into Sector 3. It looked like Big Turns and MBMA have come into the pits, and so does Boomer. Right, so the soft tyres are pretty much all gone now. All the soft tyre. Oh, Boomer gets 5 seconds speed in the pit lane. Oh, you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be doing that. So all the soft tyre drivers, minus Mike and New Squid, have come off their tyres onto the medium tyres now. Jack is still leading in this race, and he has a 5.5 second gap to second. I think unless Jack somehow spins this away, it might be a win on his return. I don't think he's going to have one gifted to him easier than this. We still have a couple of battles going on. Major and Dacty at the front. You've got Saeed, Moose King and Jaguar in the middle here. MBMA versus Big Turn still continuing on at the back. And DDK picks up 3 seconds for track limits. That, you don't want to be doing that if you're trying to work your way up the grid here. That's just got disaster written all over that. Also got Bloodwave charging down O'Leary as we go further into this race. So Dacty goes into the pits to come off his medium tyres. So does Major, so does DDK, and Bloodwave stays out. In the following, well, pretty much everyone pit that lap, apart from Bloodwave. Which means Bloodwave, Mike, and Noof are now the only three without a pit stop served in this race. It'll be pretty interesting to see if they can go this length of time on... Well, they did do 9 on the mediums, so trying to do 8 on the softs. 6 seconds now split Jack and Rigo. Jack is absolutely flying in the AlphaTauri. But, yeah, oh, we got yellow flag in sector 1. What's happened here? What's happened here? Is it Boomer? I think Boomer, yeah, Boomer was the cause of it. And he's going to drop, well, third from last again. Mike and Noof relatively out of this race. They've both pitted now, which leaves just Bloodwave. Boomer span, that's not good news for him. Moose is now behind Saeed and having to find a way back into this, and I think he may have just found his way back into his fight against Saeed. Saeed messing up badly up the hill. Bloodwave has finally gone into pit. You would have thought you would have done that a few laps ago. The safety car's not a thing, remember. Moose should have just tried to go a little bit deep there. Maybe force Saeed a little bit wide. Didn't do that. Gonna have to pay the price. He isn't going to be able to get Saeed there, but he will. Or at least he should get Saeed down this straight here. Should be relatively easily done with the DRS. See if we can have a quick look on the ERS. And Moose, yes, he is going to get in front of Saeed in the end. Took more of the straight than I thought it was going to. Bloodwave coming out in 8th now, just ahead of DDK, who is in 9th with a penalty. And yeah, we've got a little bit of a battle going on here, I think. We've got a three-way battle. Yeah, definitely. Here comes Bloodwave trying to go against Mini Turns. He's going to try and hang this on the outside, and he does so spectacularly. Hanging down the outside of Mini Turns. Mini Turns made a mistake on the inside there. Maybe just wanted a little bit too much space for his own liking. Cut too far inside. And he's handed that position there straight to Bloodwave. DDK a little bit further back. And I think DDK might be about to make good use of the DRS here. And the slipstream and the better tyres against Mini Turns. And he does so too, going past into the first corner. So, everyone's done their pit stops. It's Jack from Rigo. Rigo closing the gap a little bit, but nowhere near enough. Big Turns in 3rd. Daxi in 4th. MBMA in 5th after his half spin. Major in 6th. Bloodwave in 7th. DDK in 8th with a penalty will drop him all the way down through 10th. You've got Mini Turns O'Leary behind DDK. On track anyway. Moose in 11th. He's trying to hold off Saeed, who's currently in 12th. And then Jaguar, Mike, Boomer, and Noof, all non-factored in this one. And Saeed gets past Moose as Moose gets up the hill all wrong. And we might have another spin. We have another spin, and that's MBMA on the inside of the beginning of the 3rd sector. A long left-hander. And any chance of a top 5? Well, he could have had a podium at the very least in this one. He threw that away early. He's with a half spin. And he certainly threw away any chance of a top 5 now with a full spin. Here on the inside of the 3rd sector. And he's on his medium tyres. He's in 8th. And he might be under fire again in a minute here. Big turn against Daxi as well. Daxi up into 3rd. Daxi's having a day of it right now. It looks like we've got a yellow flag in sector 3. That might have been a Ferrari. Yeah, that was a Ferrari. That is Mike, who spun again. He's not having a great day of this. Big Turds also has himself a little bit of DRS, but he has no ERS. So he's not going to be able to cut that gap down anywhere near enough. And it looks like Mini Turds might have a really good go at MBMA sometime during the next lap. We're on lap 14. It's opened up another half second between Jack and Rigo, and realistically that should be the end of that by the time this race comes to a close, which means Jack will start at the back for Austria. And and then we got Daxi in 3rd, 2.4 seconds behind Rigo, and I don't think that gap will come down anywhere near enough. However, Daxi's got a more pressing issue to worry about, and that's a Big Turns in the Aston Martin. Doing some big turning behind him. Trying to weasel his way into a podium spot at this point. He is within a second. We'll get the and it looks like, yeah, it doesn't look like we've got a lot of battles left in the midfield either. And Big Turns is just not close enough to Daxi to really make anything work at the moment. BMA trying again. Oh, that did not look good back there. It looked like Moose has got a bit deep up the hill. At the top of the hill. And he's lost a position now to Jaguar 2. He dropped to 13th. He's just had a bad season, that's for sure. And it looked like MEMA is going to get a good run down the home straight. And he's going to get past mini turns. They're on similar tyres, so the tyre advantage obviously than there. Here comes O'Leary, lucky to go 2. Backs out of it for some reason. Should have gone for it. Should have gone for that. On the inside line, he was alongside. He could have made that work. Decides he might have a little bit too much self-preservation. But he probably should have gone for that. Could have got 2 for the price of 1 there. Going into lap 15 and didn't get it. It looks like Mike spat again. Mike has spat again this time. On the exit of the final corner. He got no front wing. That front wing is very much definitely gone. Oh, and he's just popped back into well, not ghosting as we see Jack come in to the picture to lap him. And yeah, there goes Jack onto lap 16 and will lap Mike. It looks like Big Turns goes against Dax. And he does get him there as well. Big Turns up into 3rd. Needs a lap or 2 to see if he can hold on to it. Bear in mind the lap, and this will be the last lap of an actual overtake down the main straight. We got yellow flag in sector 2 is Mike again. As his day goes from bad to worse. Moose gets 3 seconds. And that will be a complete new point because he's 24 seconds ahead of Boomer in 14th. Also, Big Ted is right up to the back of Rigo. Rigo's caught Jack a little bit. Rigo is slowing down. He is not as quick as I thought he would be. Also, Mike having an awful corner there again with no front wing in the background. We've got 6/10 of a second splitting Rigo and Big Turns. Is this enough for Rigo to hold on? Bearing in mind this straight here is going to be the last proper overtaking opportunity you get in this race. So can anyone do it? Who's going to be on the podium at the end of this one? After race 1 in sprint today. Who's going to do it? Down into turn 1. Big Ted looks against Rigo. Big Ted is going to be on the inside. Sticks on the inside. Daxie's going to try to stick his nose in. He's going to go around the outside of Free against Big Turns here. He's going to lose out to Big Turns, but Rigo is going to hold on by literally the skin of his teeth at this point. Even if he does hold on, they're going to go side by side into turn 5, and it's not going to work out for Big Turns as Rigo is literally holding on for dear life. There might be one more in this. There might be one more chance. You're never usually this close up this straight. There might be one more chance sat here for Big Turns. Rigo has to defend to the inside. He doesn't defend to the inside. They come together. Big Turns on the inside. Not going to be able to do anything quite spectacular here. They're still alongside. They go through the final sector. Jack has definitely won the race. We won't be switching to him. They're still going side by side. Jack wins in Spain, and Rigo might have just done enough to hold on, but here comes Daxie. Can Daxie do it? And they go side by side to the line, and Rigo, just about by the literal skin of his teeth, holds on to second. Big Turns, half a tenth back in third. Daxie a further tenth back in fourth. That was incredible. Major gets fifth. Bloodwave almost gets him to the line. He ends sixth. DDK ending seventh after his penalty and ends up being a mute point. MBMA in 8th. O'Leary gets 9th in the end. Saeed 10th. Mini Turns in 11th. His race just went from bad to worse. Jagger in 12th. Moose in 13th. Boomer is going to be the next one over the line. He's going to come over in 14th, and then Newth in 15th, as Mike was the only one to get lapped in the first race here. There you go, that's the end of the first race here. Jesus Christ, that was quite eventful towards the end, and surprisingly, nobody crashed out. Oh, we've got one more race tonight. Austria might be even more carnage. That was all over the place, sir. That was clean, but it was all over the place at the same time. We got, bearing in mind for the second race of the day, that what you see there, Jack, Rigo, Big Turn, Daxid, Major, Bloodwave, DDK, MBMA, O'Leary, Saeed, Miniturn, Jaguar, Moose King, Boomer, and so on and so on. They get flipped for the second race, which means we will see Jack and Rigo start in the back row, and Mike and Noof start in the front row. Hello to everyone watching. Looking good for, yeah, it is. Especially if that's the starter we're getting. That first race was all over the place. Yeah, Alu had to drop out very, very late. But yeah, well, we're just waiting for everyone to set back up for the second race now. I think it's now sure you'll lead this next week, and I assume you'll be back to race, right? I would be very surprised if you don't race the final week. Just doing a couple of extra things whilst we wait, and doing a couple of things for GT while we wait. Oh, you just come home from Finland's match. How did that go? I haven't seen the scoreline. How did that go, Staber? That's the real question. Oh, fucking hell, you lost 2-1 to Kazakhstan. Oh. How likely are you through Nations League then? That's a bad loss. Also, why has Kazakhstan started to do well in in some of the games? First against Bosnia and then Israel or Ukraine. Well, Israel's probably going to end up getting kicked out of football for the same reasons. Russia got kicked out of football reasons, for football competitions. You might get a benefit there. The problem is, I don't know if you're going to beat Ukraine. I also don't know if you're even going to get past Bosnia to start with. Looks like we're going for the second race of sprint very soon. Hello to the 5 people watching. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. Yeah, you have to believe. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You have to believe in it. I just don't know. If I was a betting man, I don't know if I would be believing in it. But this is easy to say from someone who just had to get a point of Italy tonight to qualify. And to be fair, probably doesn't even need a point of Italy to qualify at this point. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I can understand 100% firmly being behind your country. 100%. Do you actually travel to Slovenia for that? Oh, ouch. To fucking hell. You've been to 2 away games, you've conceded 3 times in both of those games. Yeah, fucking hell, that's a shame. That's a huge shame. Should be too far away from getting Austria sprint underway, by the way. Here we go. It's going to be Mike and Noof on the front row. We got 4, 5 red lights, and it's lights out. Away we go for a second time. Who's on the tire? Who's on what tire? It looks like Mike's on the mediums, Noose on the softs. As we go up into turn 1, and we might have carnage. We are going to have carnage. There goes Noof. I think there goes. I think that was a McLaren as well. We've got just everyone. Everyone's just all over the place. There's a few people, yeah, the McLaren of Boomer and Noof got into it already. Oh, and there goes one of the Aston Martin getting sent into oblivion. Well, Jesus Christ. That is a rough start to this race. A lot rougher than the one we just saw in Spain. Oh, another little bit of contact, and then the Williams decided that the track is not a good idea for them on the inside of the beginning at the end of the second sector. This is all over the place. Moose versus Mike going into the into the end of the second sector right now. I don't think Mike's got all the power to hold on to much of anything today. And there goes Moose on the outside and gets that done relatively easily. We got Daxi and DDK right behind them. Oh, that's a bit deep from both the Aston Martin and the Ferrari. And there goes Mike again. Deep into the final corner. And that's going to allow for Daxi, DDK and Bloodwave all to go on through on Mike. We might see a couple of more go through yet. There goes MBMA. They go down into turn 1. But Mike's going to get that back. Rigo also having a bit of a time. Rigo, it looked like O'Leary having a bit of a go at each other there. Mike loses an extra couple of positions in the midfield. Looks like he goes deep again now. It did also look like the big turns. And I think that might have been Bloodwave had a little bit of a collision in the forefront as well. We got going down into turn 4? Yeah, turn 4. We've got a chaos up the first 2 laps. DDK and Bloodwave going after each other now. Bloodwave on the outside. He's just collecting gravel on the outside of his car there. He somehow managed to hold that well enough to get through on DDK. But yeah, DDK is not really going to be able to. He should be able to get something against Bloodwave here. Going into sector 2, new for span again. New for span again for what might be the 5th time today over the 2 races. He's not enjoying his day at all. Moose King and Big Turns right behind each other here, and they look like Big Turns on the inside will get that position off of his Aston Martin counterpart. Yeah, Jaguar's second right now. He's having a good second race, I'll say that much. Looks like Mike just picked up 3 seconds worth of track limit penalties, as he is not having a nice day whatsoever. We're going to go back to the front for a little bit here as Mini Turns versus Jaguar leads the pack. And you got Daxi behind, Bloodwave, DDK, 4, 3, 4, and 5. Big Turns and Moose, 6, 7, Major and MBMA, 8, 9. Boomer just overtook Jack, as Jack is not having a good time when he actually has to fight someone. It looks like Bloodwave just set the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:07.0. We're going to have a little quick look at the telemetry. Mike is out of the session, and he becomes the first DNF of the entire day as we see Jaguar going down the inside of the hairpin on the soft tyre against Mini Turns as Medium squeezes the door very much shut there, and now has to fight off with Daxi as they head down towards 4. And Daxi's going to be on the outside. He should have a good enough exit. Oh, they've come together! They've come together, and Bloodwave and Jaguar came together there as well, and Jaguar ends up in the wall. A touch between Daxi and Jaguar, followed up with Bloodwave going straight into the back of him. Spins Jaguar into the wall. Bloodwave may have got damage off the end of that. And Mini 10 goes on through as well. Absolutely chaos. As we see, here comes Bloodwave against Mini Turns yet again, and I think Bloodwave should be able to get this relatively easily as we go up the straight. Nope, never mind, he isn't going to get it at all. Maybe waiting off turn 1. The Jaguar didn't make a mistake there, he's just had an unfortunate contact. And so we see Bloodwave on the inside of Mini Turns here, going into the hairpin. We just saw this between Alpine and AlphaTauri on the prior lap, and this time we get out of it unscathed. I say that, it was turn 4 that killed Jaguar this time last lap. It might be about to kill Mini Turns. Actually, no, Big Turns has made a very good move on the inside there against Mini Turns. Well, I guess we can say that Big Turns is the more superior turn. Moose King right on the back of this, maybe looking for something against Mini Turns as we head through the final sector right now. Moose King's having a better second race than he did the first race, say that much. Daxi is away at the moment, not away as we've seen in the last 2 sprint races, but away nonetheless. So you got DDK second, Bloodwave 2 seconds further behind DDK. You've got a couple of guys within DRS, and there goes Jack. Noof has already been lapped, and Jack versus Boomer down the straight now. Who's going to get this up the straight, up the hill, into the hairpin? Boomer's got the inside line. We've seen this before. But this time, the outside line's going to prevail. The better exit goes to Jack. Jack gets to 8th spot now. He's got a long way to go, though, if he wants to make up the ground that he's not gained in the first 6 laps of this race. Got a huge train, and it doesn't look like O'Leary's enjoying being on the back of said train as he drops out in the background now through turn 4. And DDK picks up 3 seconds in track limits, and that might just hand it to Daxi when it's all said and done here. Noof has pitted. I'm going to assume that's to retire. And Saeed versus O'Leary here, and Saeed on the inside gets that move done. It didn't look like he had a very confident exit of turn 1, and that's going to open the door for the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo to go through, actually. And they both will, in fact, do so. O'Leary and Rigo both going past Saeed as we head into the hairpin. Jack also trying to go against MBMA here. He made one move on the last lap, trying to make another move on the following lap. Doesn't get it done, and he is going to have to sit behind MBMA for a little while longer. So right now, half a 3-second gap splits first and second, technically, in any regard. It's 5 between Daxi and DDK, 2 Williams for today. Jaguar at the back, 14th. Looks like DDK's gone into the pits, and yeah, DDK has gone into the pits. Bloodwave has not, which means that Bloodwave is going to head into second at the moment. It looks like Big Turn's also headed into the pits, and so does Rigo. Rigo's got 5 seconds, and Bloodwave's in the grass! Bloodwave's in the grass, and that has just handed another 2 seconds there to Daxi. And Daxi, without a mistake, should be able to drive off into the distance now. He should be able to clean this one up. There goes Jack on MBMA. He couldn't get it done on the last lap, but does get it done here and might have a good go against mini turns on the following lap. Oh, that did not look like the greatest of exits there for Jack, heading through 4. Boomer versus Moose. They're going to go side by side through 5. Oh, who the hell's had the problem there? It's MBMA. MBMA on the inside of turn 5 had an absolute nightmare. Boomer is going to go the long way round and then the short way round against Moose, but gets it done. That's exquisite driving from the 2 of them. It looks like Boomer's staying out, but Moose is going in. Jack's also going into the pits. You don't want to speed into the pit lane here. You get a lot of time to get that right. So, Daxi 4.8 seconds in the lead now to Bloodwave. Mini turns is technically 4th. We'll see where he comes out after the pit stop. Interesting to see if people can make the soft go this long. Major pit very early. And is already 4 laps into his soft stint. So, we've got 3 people with penalties, Moose, Rigo, and DDK. I'm pretty sure they were all track limits. Well, no, Rigo was speeding, but the other 2 were track limits, as I originally thought. As in terms of battles, we don't really have a lot in that department right now. The only 2 people even remotely close together is Major and Jack for 9th and 10th right now. But there you go. Five of the top 7 have come into pit here. Actually, 6 of the top 7 have come into pit. So that means Saeed now the only driver who has not pit off his tyres. We'll wait to see when he chooses to do that. Everyone and anyone's getting a penalty now. Daxi comes out actually just a little bit behind DDK. DDK with the undercut, but he is on 2 laps older tyres, which should pretty much feeds straight into Daxi's hands, and Daxi probably gets it done here into turn 4, and he does so relatively easily. DDK still has a penalty. These 2 are fighting for position. Whether or not this is going to be much of a fight, we'll wait and see. DDK is holding on to the back of Daxi right now, but in terms of whether or not he's going to be able to hold on for long enough, I don't think so. Either way, DDK has a 3-second time penalty onto his time. Bloodwave 4.2 seconds off the back of this group. And Saeed now comes into pit. He's the last one to do so. So that means everyone has done their mandatory stop for the race. And yeah, it's gone in the way of Daxi right now. DDK has managed to close it in. It was just over 2 seconds between them before pit stop. The undercut worked very clearly, but I think DDK is eventually going to run out of steam, and that will hand this race back to Daxi. As we go along, we're only on lap 11 of 18. Boomer's just had a bit of a problem there. Boomer's gone wide. Boomer's gone very wide of the hairpin. He's lost a number of positions there. Here comes Major on mini turns. Mini turn not able to do anything there. Can he get a good enough exit on the inside and make nice work of Major? Yes, he does. Major loses out there. He is on 6 lap old off tyres. Oh, and Moose tried it. Moose tried it on the inside of 5 and has lost the car entirely. Tried to save it on the grass, couldn't do it. That was almost admirable there, but he just couldn't catch it at the end. Jack versus Big Turns going on now. They head up into turn 1. And Big Turns holds out for a split second. It won't be too much of an effort though, because heading down through 2 and then into 3, which is the hairpin. Jack should get him and has done before we even hit the hairpin. MBMA gets in front of Major, and Major's constantly depreciating tyres. Oh, Major's got a bit deep, and he's got a bit wide, and everything else that goes with it loses the position of Major as well. To O'Leary, sorry, and Major drops down to 10th. Everything else is slowly dropping into where they expect to be now, and we're not really going to gain or lose many positions this late into the race. Daxi is now 2 seconds clear of DDK, and that race is over. So now, unless Daxi makes a mistake or spins this away, he's got essentially 7.5 seconds really to actually hold on to, and I don't really, 5.5 seconds. I don't really think that the way he loses that. Yellow flag in sector 3. Someone screwed up. Someone screwed up. It's Rigo. Rigo screwed up. He spun and he's got into the pits. He has literally spun himself into the pits. DDK has a 3-second time penalty. Bloodwave has a 3-second time penalty, which means Jack might sneak his way back onto the podium at this rate. It might open the door at this rate to also have Big Turn sneak into a 4th. And, yeah, Rigo's race is over. So, let's see if we can get any sort of overtakes or anything in picture here. Is Saeed going to do anything against Major here, actually? He's closest, so we'll take a look. He's going to go on the inside of 5, but backs out before they hit the inside of 6, which is a weird move to make. I would have just gone there and try and break some sort of gap before you hit the straight. Doesn't do that. Yellow flag in sector 3 of the Mercedes, and that's MBMA. MBMA has spotted again, and he's dropped behind Saeed and Major here. Major doesn't have a penalty. Saeed does. We're on lap 14 of 18. And Major's been overtaken by Saeed, and Saeed should be able to go off into the distance now. And it looks like Saeed goes against Major again. We've got action in 3 and 4, and I think that's just Rigo getting lapped. Also, there's a Mercedes there. MBMA spun it again. MBMA has spun it again. And his day goes from bad to worse. Also, Saeed clearing Major for quite a distance now. It's the second already. He needs to clear 3. Big Turn's also still within a second of Jack. Jack's in with a shout of Bloodwave, but not really against DDK right now, I don't think. Maybe about 10th, actually. Outside the range for DDK, who is getting caught like a house on fire. So, yellow flag in sector 3. Here's the Mercedes again. Rigo is lapped. The Mercedes is having a horrid time, so we're realistically down 12. And Bloodwave versus DDK. Bloodwave gets by as we head into turn 4. Heading back down the straight. We go back to mini turns. Boomer and O'Leary O'Leary trying to tack his name onto the back of the group here. Boomer looking to the outside against mini turns. Can he get a good enough exit or a switchback attempt? He gets neither. MBMA is out of the session. Rigo probably should do the same. It looks like we're going to go into lap 16 with Daxi, I'm pretty sure. With 12 actual drivers, 3 more seconds for Rigo. That just feels like you're kicking a man while he's down. Major gets 3 seconds as well, so any chance he had against Saeed there has just gone down the drain, and it might open him up to Jaguar toward the end of this. If Jaguar can get some pace going. Boomer against mini turns is just not happening right now. Boomer can get close, but just not close enough. Maybe with that exit though, he might get a good launch and a good run down towards 4. And does, and gets the move there on mini turn. That's pretty nicely done from Boomer up to 6th. Jack is still, well, Jack is actually close enough to get 2nd here. Daxi had well and truly won, and won by a country mile, provided he does not spin in the last 2 laps of this race. But, yeah, Boomer's trying to hold on against mini turns. I don't think this lasts very long. I don't think this attempt at defending is going to last very long. Boomer's obviously on the same tires as mini turns. Mini turns is going to get the DRS. He doesn't have as much ERS as Boomer, to be fair to him. Oh, and it looks like, there you go, Leary tried it there on the inside. Just couldn't get it done there against mini turns, and he'll have to settle for 8 for the moment. I think Moose has just spanned. Moose has just spanned. Major pitted under the new set of tires. I think Moose might be about to retire. Rigo's still lapped. Oh, no, Moose is not retiring. Fair play to the man. They're continuing on at this point in time. Daxi has gone on to lap 18 of 18. We are on the final lap. Right now, I think we might see Big Turns and Jack sneak their way onto the podium. It's about 2.6, I think, between Bloodwave and Big Turns right now. As we see DDK go against Bloodwave into the hairpin. Bloodwave just didn't get a good enough run there into the hairpin. DDK definitely did on the inside. Gets a far better exit too. But the DRS may come back. The DRS helping DDK stay ahead there. But they're not really doing much for their core. They have a Jack and a Big Turns right behind them, and they're both going to overtake him at this point. So right now, I think we have a Daxi 1, DDK Jack 2, Big Turns 3, DDK 4, Bloodwave 5, and Boomer 6. We go through the final couple of corners. We're going to switch very quickly to Daxi, who's going to go around the final corner, and in one hell of a dominant display, ends up winning in Austria very comfortably in the end. And it's going to be Jack in 2nd, Big Turns 3rd. That rounds out your podium. DDK gets 4th, Bloodwave gets 5th in the end. Boomer's going to round up his race in 6th. Mini Turns just coming over in 7th. O'Leary will take his 8th position in the end. Saeed will get 9th. Jaguar will round out the top 10. There you go. That is it. Rigo ended 12th. Major comes over the line in 11th. And that will round off the second race of today. There you go. That ends off sprint for the day. 1 win for Jack, 1 win for Daxi. I'm pretty sure it was 1-2 for them both in both races in the end. A very dominant day by the two. Jack's return to ALR is a very strong one here in sprint. And with that, and the picture of the final standing to the day, I will see you guys next time.